August 4th, 2024, began like any other summer morning in Hoffman, North Carolina. Neighbors along McCoy Drive heard the familiar sounds of children playing and a baby crying from the Neely household. By nightfall, those same neighbors would witness police cars flooding their quiet street, responding to gunshots that shattered the evening calm. Inside the master bedroom of the modest home, officers discovered a scene that would forever change 3 young lives. Kenesha Nealy, 34, and her husband Sheldon Moses Neely, 46, were both dead. Their infant daughter Kamari, just weeks old, and Kenesha's 2 older daughters were left without a mother. A mother whose only crime was believing too deeply in second chances, in redemption, in the power of love to transform a man with a violent past. Born into a close-knit family in Memphis, Tennessee, Kenesha Miranda Harrison built her life on determination and hard work. As a single mother of 2 daughters, she pushed through challenges to earn her healthcare administration degree and establish herself as a licensed bail bondsman. Her Facebook posts painted the picture of a woman who radiated positivity, always searching for the good in others. In 2019, a message from an inmate named Moses Neely would change her life's direction. Despite his extensive criminal record and ongoing prison sentence, Kanesha saw potential where others saw danger. Her unwavering belief in transformation led her to marry him while he was still incarcerated, convinced she could help rewrite his story. That decision would set in motion a chain of events that would ultimately lead to that fatal August night. Before I continue with this heartbreaking story, I need a moment to talk to you, my viewers. If you've ever known someone who believed they could change a person despite glaring red flags, this story will resonate deeply. Drop a love emoji in the comments below if you or someone you know has tried to be someone's saving grace. Your experiences matter, and sharing them could help others recognize warning signs before it's too late. Also, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. This channel is dedicated to sharing these crucial stories that could save lives. Throughout this story, you'll witness how Kenesha's compassion and hope for redemption blinded her to escalating danger signals. I'll break down the critical warning signs that friends and family noticed, signs that are often dismissed in the name of love. By the end of this video, you'll understand how manipulation, isolation, and the illusion of change can create a deadly combination. Most importantly, you'll learn how to spot these patterns before they take root, because knowledge isn't just power. In cases like these, it can be the difference between life and death. Born on March 25, 1986, in the Binghamton neighborhood of Memphis, Tennessee, Kenesha Miranda Harrison grew up surrounded by the rich culture and warmth of a traditional Southern family. The youngest among her siblings, she absorbed the strong values that would shape her character from an early age. The Binghamton community, known for its blue-collar resilience, helped mold Kenesha's work ethic. Her childhood home buzzed with family gatherings, Sunday dinners, and the kind of genuine hospitality that Memphis was known for. Through her formative years, Kenesha's family emphasized education, faith, and the importance of standing on your own 2 feet. Those who knew Kenesha during these early years remember her infectious laugh and natural ability to light up a room. She carried herself with a quiet confidence, demonstrating early signs of the determination that would later help her overcome significant life challenges. Her mother's influence particularly shaped her approach to adversity, facing difficulties head-on while maintaining grace under pressure. Kenesha's professional journey began with a clear vision of financial independence. After completing high school, she immediately enrolled in college, pursuing a degree in healthcare administration. Unlike many who struggle to balance education with work, Kenesha thrived under pressure, maintaining strong academic performance while holding down a part-time job. Her dedication paid off when she earned her healthcare administration degree, an achievement that opened doors to various career opportunities. However, Kenesha's entrepreneurial spirit led her down an unexpected path. Rather than pursuing a traditional healthcare role, she recognized a unique opportunity in the legal system. She underwent rigorous training to become a licensed bail bondsman, a career choice that combined her business acumen with her desire to help others navigate difficult situations. In the male-dominated bail bonds industry, Kanesha quickly established herself as a respected professional. Her approach to clients balanced compassion with practicality, earning her a reputation for fairness and reliability. Within a few years, Kanesha had built a steady client base in the Memphis area. Her success stemmed from her ability to assess risks while showing empathy toward clients and their families. She took pride in helping people understand the legal process, often going above and beyond to ensure they met their court obligations. While building her career, Kanesha faced her greatest challenge and joy, raising her daughters, Aaliyah and Jayla, on her own. The fathers of both girls had chosen to step away from their parental responsibilities, leaving Kanesha to navigate the complexities of parenthood solo. Yet, she approached single motherhood with the same determination that characterized every aspect of her life. Her daily routine was a masterclass in time management. Mornings began before sunrise, preparing her girls for school while organizing her work schedule. She attended every parent-teacher conference, dance recital, and school event, making sure her daughters never felt the absence of their fathers. Despite the financial strains of single parenthood, she ensured her girls participated in extracurricular activities and had the resources they needed to thrive. Weekends became sacred family time. Kanesha created traditions that bonded their small family unit: Saturday morning pancake breakfasts, Sunday afternoon craft sessions, and evening story times. She taught her daughters the same values she'd learned in her childhood home: resilience, independence, and the importance of education. Her social media posts often celebrated her daughters' achievements, from honor roll certificates to dance competitions, showing a mother who took immense pride in her children's accomplishments. At her core, Kanesha embodied compassion and optimism, traits that both distinguished and ultimately endangered her. Friends described her as someone who could find the silver lining in any situation, a quality that made her both an exceptional friend and a natural confidant. Her smile, warm and genuine, often masked the challenges she faced daily. Her strong spiritual foundation influenced every decision she made. She believed firmly in forgiveness, redemption, and the power of faith to transform lives. These deeply held convictions shaped her worldview, leading her to see potential in people that others might overlook. She regularly attended church services and participated in community outreach programs, teaching her daughters the importance of giving back. Kanesha's personality was magnetic. She drew people in with her authentic nature and ability to make everyone feel heard and valued. Her home became a gathering place for friends seeking advice or simply needing a compassionate ear. Perhaps most notably, she possessed an unwavering belief in second chances, a value that stemmed from her religious upbringing and life experiences, but would ultimately prove to be her most vulnerable point. In 2019, a Facebook message from inmate Sheldon Moses Neely marked the beginning of what Kanesha thought would be her love story. At 46, Moses reached out from behind bars while serving a 12-year sentence for assault with a deadly weapon and illegal firearm possession. Their initial exchanges focused on his claims of personal growth and rehabilitation during his incarceration. The digital courtship quickly intensified through prison phone calls, letters, and scheduled visits. Kanesha often made the journey to see Moses, sometimes bringing her daughters along. On social media, she shared updates about their growing connection, portraying it as a testament to looking beyond someone's past mistakes. For Moses, having access to Facebook while incarcerated provided a perfect platform to present himself as a changed man. His messages painted pictures of future plans, family life, and his supposed transformation. Each carefully crafted message reinforced his narrative of being a misunderstood soul who just needed someone to believe in him. Kanesha, with her natural inclination toward seeing the best in others, became his most dedicated supporter. From behind prison walls, Moses orchestrated a calculated seduction that preyed on Kanesha's deepest desires. He studied her social media posts, learning her dreams of a complete family unit, then crafted his messages to align perfectly with those aspirations. His letters brimmed with promises of becoming the father figure her daughters needed and the supportive husband she deserved. During supervised visits, he performed the role of reformed inmate flawlessly. He spoke of plans to attend church together, help with homework, and build a stable home life, hitting every note that resonated with Kenesha's hopes. When speaking with her daughters, he portrayed himself as a protective father figure, someone who would finally fill the void in their lives. On phone calls, Moses expertly balanced vulnerability with strength, sharing carefully selected stories about his past that painted him as a victim of circumstances rather than the architect of his own troubles. He claimed that meeting Kanesha had given him purpose, describing her as his angel of redemption. Each conversation reinforced his narrative of transformation, while skillfully avoiding any deep discussion of his violent history. The prison wedding on December 17, 2021 became Kenesha's proudest moment, though it bore little resemblance to the fairy tale ceremony most brides dream of. Her daughters stood witness alongside fellow inmates in the stark prison visiting area. Kenesha wore a simple white dress, her face beaming with hope as she said "I do" to a man still bound by institutional constraints. She shared every detail on Facebook, posting photos that captured her radiant smile while carefully cropping out the prison setting. Her social media transformed into a countdown to Moses' release, filled with plans for their future. She wrote about booking a 5-night stay at an Atlantic City resort for their delayed honeymoon and renovating their future home. In the months following their marriage, Kenesha poured her energy into preparing for Moses' release. She purchased new furniture, redecorated rooms, and planned welcome home celebrations. Her posts spoke of becoming an unstoppable power couple, sharing dreams of building a business together and expanding their family. Every preparation reflected her unshakable belief that their love story would overcome any obstacle. Behind Kenesha's joyful posts, her family's worry grew increasingly urgent. Her siblings and close friends tried repeatedly to highlight the risks of marrying an incarcerated man with a violent past. They pointed to Moses' long list of convictions, questioning how someone with multiple assault charges could truly reform through prison correspondence alone. During family gatherings, conversations turned tense when discussing her relationship. Close friends who worked in law enforcement shared their professional experiences with similar situations, warning her about common manipulation tactics used by inmates. Her older brother even offered to run a detailed background check, revealing the full extent of Moses' criminal history. But Kenesha met each concern with unwavering defense of her choices. She dismissed their warnings as judgment, gradually distancing herself from those who questioned her decision. When family members expressed fear for her daughter's safety, she accused them of not believing in redemption. The more her loved ones tried to intervene, the more determined she became to prove them wrong, inadvertently isolating herself from her strongest support system. Moses Neely's first encounter with the law came in 1994, when courts convicted him of property damage and drug possession with intent to sell. Rather than serving as a wake-up call, this initial conviction marked the beginning of a 25-year streak of increasingly serious crimes. By 1995, he violated probation, resulting in a 3-year prison sentence. Upon release in 1997, his record expanded to include charges of resisting arrest, assault, and driving with a revoked license. Each arrest revealed an escalating pattern of disregard for law and authority. The turning point came in 2010 with his most serious conviction, assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. The charge carried additional weight due to his status as a felon in possession of a firearm. This incident led to the 12-year sentence during which he would meet Kanesha. Throughout his incarceration, Moses accumulated multiple disciplinary infractions, suggesting his claimed transformation existed only in his letters to Kanesha. Behind Moses' love letters and promises lurked a consistent pattern of violence that prison walls couldn't contain. His assault charges revealed a man who resorted to physical force as his primary response to conflict. Court records showed that even minor disagreements often ended in violent confrontations. Former associates who testified in his cases described him as someone who carefully selected his targets, often choosing victims who were unlikely to report his actions. In domestic situations, he displayed a pattern of controlling behavior that frequently escalated to physical abuse. Multiple restraining orders from previous relationships painted a clear picture of his inability to maintain peaceful relationships. The assault that led to his 12-year sentence particularly demonstrated his capacity for calculated violence. After a minor dispute, he waited hours before attacking his victim with a weapon, showing premeditation rather than impulse. During his incarceration, prison records documented numerous fights with fellow inmates and confrontations with guards, contradicting his claims to Kanesha about finding peace and changing his ways. This is where I need to pause our story and speak directly to you, our viewers. What you've just heard about Moses' history isn't just a list of crimes. It's a roadmap of warning signs. If you've noticed similar patterns in someone's past, pause this video and share it in the comments below. Your comment could be the wake-up call someone else needs. Think about someone in your life who might be romanticizing a relationship with a person showing these behavior patterns. They need to see this video. Hit that share button right now. You never know whose life you might save. Your share could be the difference between someone recognizing these warning signs early or becoming another tragic headline. Remember, supporting this channel helps us continue sharing these crucial stories. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to join our community dedicated to preventing similar tragedies. Every like, comment, and share helps spread awareness about the importance of recognizing these dangerous patterns. Looking objectively at Moses' history, clear warning signals emerged that went far beyond typical rough past scenarios. First, his violent offenses showed a steady progression in severity, a classic indicator that rehabilitation claims rarely hold true. The consistency of his violent behavior, spanning decades, demonstrated this wasn't youthful misconduct, but an established behavioral pattern. His social media outreach to Kanesha, while incarcerated, reflected a calculated approach to finding targets outside prison walls. Creating an idealized fantasy of future family life, while systematically minimizing his violent history, showed manipulation rather than genuine reform. Most telling was his ability to maintain two conflicting narratives, presenting himself as reformed to Kanesha while continuing aggressive behavior within the prison system. The timing of his proposals, twice during his incarceration, suggested urgency to secure a commitment before Kanesha could witness his true nature in person. His push for marriage while imprisoned prevented her from seeing his daily behaviors and reactions to stress, crucial information for any potential partner. These weren't isolated red flags, but a coordinated pattern of deception designed to ensure Kanesha was emotionally invested before his release. September 12, 2022, marked Moses' release from prison, a day Kenesha celebrated across her social media platforms with photos and heartfelt captions about new beginnings. The first few weeks seemed to validate her unwavering faith in their relationship. Moses played the role of devoted husband, accompanying Kanesha and her daughters on family outings, attending church services, and expressing gratitude for his second chance. Their Atlantic City honeymoon appeared picture-perfect in the photos Kanesha shared. Walks on the boardwalk, romantic dinners, and tender moments that seemed to promise the fairy tale ending she'd dreamed about. Her posts overflowed with optimism about their future together, highlighting every small moment that supported her belief in Moses' transformation. Friends noted how Kanesha glowed during these early days, convinced that her patience and dedication had paid off. She proudly introduced Moses to her social circle, eager to prove that her faith in him had been justified. Each seemingly normal domestic moment, family dinners, watching TV together, grocery shopping, reinforced her belief that they were building the life she had envisioned. By early 2023, Kanesha made the life-altering decision to relocate her family to Hoffman, North Carolina. She purchased a modest home on McCoy Drive, viewing the small-town setting as the perfect backdrop for their fresh start. Far from Memphis's familiar faces and their skeptical warnings about Moses. The move meant leaving behind her established bail bonds career, her support network, and the only community her daughters had ever known. Yet Kanesha portrayed it as an exciting new chapter, sharing photos of their new home and the quiet neighborhood streets where her children would play. She threw herself into creating their new life, enrolling her daughters in local schools and transforming their house into a home. Her social media posts showcased newly decorated rooms, family dinners in their eat-in kitchen, and Moses appearing to settle into domestic life. The physical distance from Memphis seemed to energize Kanesha, who believed the isolation would allow their relationship to flourish without outside interference. Each post emphasized their supposed progress, carefully curated to show a family thriving in their new environment. The first cracks in Moses' reformed facade appeared within weeks of their relocation. His resistance to basic responsibilities, job hunting, helping with household chores, or engaging with the children, contradicted his prison promises of becoming a family man. Instead, he spent days idle, showing little interest in contributing to their new life. Moses struggled with fundamental aspects of free society that most take for granted. Simple tasks like grocery shopping or waiting in line would trigger disproportionate anger. His institutional mindset persisted. He treated their home like a prison yard, establishing rigid territories and reacting defensively to minor intrusions into his space. Kanesha's daughters noticed the shift first. They began walking on eggshells around their stepfather, whose mood could switch from calm to confrontational without warning. When Kenesha's oldest daughter mentioned feeling uncomfortable around Moses, Kenesha dismissed it as an adjustment period. She doubled down on her efforts to maintain harmony, making excuses for his behavior and working harder to anticipate triggers that might upset him. By spring 2023, the facade of domestic bliss began crumbling. Moses showed increasing hostility toward the structure and routine of family life. Small disagreements about household expenses or parenting decisions would trigger explosive outbursts. His institutional behaviors intensified, hoarding food in his room, refusing to share common spaces, and reacting aggressively to any perceived challenge to his authority. Neighbors began noticing raised voices coming from the Neely home with increasing frequency. Moses' inability to hold a job added financial strain to their relationship. When Kanesha questioned his lack of effort in finding employment, he responded with intimidation tactics, slamming doors, punching walls, and making veiled threats about her questioning his manhood. Despite these escalating signs, Kanesha's social media remained carefully curated, showing only moments of apparent harmony. She worked harder to maintain this illusion, even as Moses grew more controlling. He began monitoring her phone, questioning her about social media posts, and gradually isolating her from remaining connections to Memphis. Each concession she made to keep peace pushed her further into a dangerous cycle of dependency. The facade shattered in mid-December 2023 when Moses' violence reached a terrifying peak. After drinking heavily, he launched into a brutal physical assault on Kanesha inside their home. The attack quickly escalated as he trapped her in their bedroom, choking her while her daughters witnessed the horror unfold. In a desperate act of survival, Kanesha managed to access her handgun during the struggle. She fired a single shot into Moses' leg, temporarily disabling him until law enforcement arrived. The immediate aftermath saw Moses arrested and charged with domestic assault, seemingly ending their dangerous living situation. The incident report detailed the severity of Kanesha's injuries and the traumatic impact on her daughters who witnessed the attack. Yet despite the clear danger Moses posed, Kanesha's commitment to preserving their marriage led to an alarming decision. Within days, she posted his modest $3,000 bond, allowing him to return home. Her social media quickly resumed its carefully curated narrative of marital happiness, as if the violent assault had never occurred. In the wake of the December assault, Kanesha announced her pregnancy, presenting it as proof their relationship was meant to endure. Her social media posts shifted to focus on baby preparations and future plans, seemingly pushing aside the recent violence. She portrayed the pregnancy as a new chapter that would strengthen their bond and finally complete their family unit. However, on Valentine's Day 2024, Kanesha shared devastating news. She had suffered a miscarriage. Her posts revealed raw emotional pain, yet she continued defending Moses, who showed little support during this traumatic time. Instead of recognizing his emotional detachment as another warning sign, Kanesha channeled her grief into an even stronger determination to have his child. Despite concerns from medical professionals about the risks of another pregnancy so soon after the miscarriage, Kanesha became pregnant again by early spring 2024. She approached this pregnancy with fierce determination, even as Moses remained disconnected from the process, missing prenatal appointments and showing minimal interest in preparations for the baby's arrival. On June 23, 2024, Kamari entered the world at 30 weeks, requiring immediate intensive neonatal care. During the baby's extended hospital stay, Moses' behavior revealed his true priorities. He rarely visited his premature daughter, complaining about the hospital's strict visitation rules and showing more concern about his personal convenience than his child's critical condition. Kanesha spent every possible moment at the NICU, often alone, watching her tiny daughter fight for survival. Her social media posts during this period focused solely on Kamari's progress, sharing milestone moments like the first time she could hold her daughter or when Kamari breathed without assistance. The photos notably lacked Moses' presence, though Kanesha never mentioned his absence. In late July 2024, doctors finally cleared Kamari for discharge. Kanesha brought their daughter home, hoping this milestone would awaken Moses' paternal instincts. She transformed their home to welcome the newest family member, creating a nursery filled with pink decorations and new baby items, all while managing the demands of caring for a premature infant largely on her own. The addition of Kamari to the household exposed Moses' complete inability to adapt to fatherhood. The demands of a newborn, midnight feedings, constant crying, shared attention, triggered increasingly volatile reactions. He complained about the baby's cries disrupting his sleep and grew resentful of Kanesha's focus on their infant daughter. His behavior became more unpredictable with each passing day. When Kamari cried, he would storm out of rooms, slam doors, or blast music to drown out the sound. He refused to help with basic baby care, leaving Kanesha exhausted as she balanced the needs of all three daughters. The older girls began spending more time in their rooms, trying to avoid their stepfather's unstable moods. In the week before the tragedy, neighbors reported hearing more frequent arguments. Moses' outbursts grew louder and more threatening. Kanesha's final social media post showed a desperate attempt to maintain normalcy, sharing photos of Kamari's first smiles while carefully cropping out any signs of the turmoil surrounding them. The tension in their home had reached a breaking point, building toward the devastating events that would unfold on August 4th. In the final week of July 2024, the constant strain in the Neely household reached dangerous levels. Moses spent more time away from home, returning in increasingly agitated states. When present, his interactions with the family became more hostile. Kanesha's older daughters later told relatives they heard their mother crying at night, though she maintained her bright smile during daylight hours. August 4th began with the usual morning routine, Kanesha tending to Kamari while her older girls prepared for their day. Around mid-morning, neighbors heard the familiar sound of raised voices from the Neely home. This time, however, the argument intensified beyond their usual disputes. A sudden sound of gunshots shattered the Sunday morning quiet. Police arrived to find the house silent. In the master bedroom, they discovered both Kanesha and Moses. Their infant daughter Kamari was found unharmed in her crib, while Kanesha's older daughters had managed to escape to a neighbor's house during the confrontation. The tragedy left three young girls without their mother. Aaliyah and Jayla, who witnessed the steady destruction of their home life over the previous year, now faced the trauma of losing their mother to domestic violence. Baby Kamari, just weeks old, would never know the mother who fought so hard to bring her into the world. Today, the McCoy Drive home stands as a quiet reminder of dreams shattered by domestic violence. Kenesha Nealy's funeral, held on August 13, 2024, at the Hoffman Recreational Complex, drew hundreds who remembered her radiant smile and giving heart. But her true legacy lives on through the three daughters she left behind, and the lessons her story teaches us. Her older daughters, Aaliyah and Jayla, now live with family members who are helping them process their trauma through counseling and continued support. Baby Kamari, who spent her first weeks fighting for life in the NICU, will grow up knowing her mother through stories of strength, determination, and unwavering love for her children. Kanesha's story is more than a cautionary tale. It's a powerful reminder that believing in someone's capacity for change, while admirable, should never come at the cost of your safety or your children's well-being. Her Facebook posts, once filled with hope and optimism about second chances, now serve as a documented timeline of how domestic violence escalates behind carefully curated social media facades. The Memphis community where Kanesha once thrived as a successful bail bondsman has established a foundation in her name, providing resources and support to single mothers trapped in dangerous relationships. Her story has inspired local organizations to enhance their domestic violence prevention programs, focusing particularly on women involved with currently or formerly incarcerated partners. The greatest honor we can pay to Kanesha's memory is to learn from her experience, to recognize that love alone cannot transform someone unwilling to change, and that protecting yourself and your children isn't failure, but the highest form of self-love. Before we end this video, I need to speak directly to anyone watching who recognizes these patterns in their own life or the life of someone they love. The warning signs we've discussed today: isolation from family, escalating aggression, promises of change that never materialize. These aren't just elements of a tragic story. They're red flags that could save your life or the life of someone you care about. If you found value in this video, please take a moment to share it. Your share could reach someone who desperately needs to hear this message. Leave a comment below sharing any warning signs you think others should watch for. Your insight could help someone else recognize danger in their own situation. Don't let Kanesha's story be just another tragedy. Let it be a catalyst for change. Resources for domestic violence support will be listed in the description below. Remember, reaching out for help isn't weakness. It's an act of courage that could save your life. To our community, thank you for bearing witness to Kanesha's story. Click subscribe to join our mission of raising awareness about domestic violence through these important narratives. Together, we can help prevent similar tragedies from claiming more lives.